This is George Orwell, and I am here to share with you my experience after death, where I was and what I experienced. For me, this is, it was quite disheartening when I realized what I had accepted and allowed in my dimensional existence after I had died, after quite an extraordinary and profound life on earth, of a specific statement I had made, when my dimensional existence after death was completely and totally contradictory. I died, and when I died, that moment of crossing over was so astounding. You're enveloped with light, and you don't know where you are or even who you are, because I crossed over and it's as though when you're in floating on water and you just let go completely of everything and you become as light as a feather. It's as though you don't exist anymore. Just that experience in that moment of floating on the water exists, and that's it. That's the experience I had when I crossed over. Nothing else exists, not my life on earth, who I was on earth, what I experienced. All that existed in that moment when I crossed over was me being enveloped in that white light, experiencing it in every single part of my being, and everything else just disappeared. And it was a moment of heaven. And these two beings came to me and they said to me, "Follow us." And they were quite quirky, young, vibrant, and even just their presence kind of uplifted me even more, and I started getting excited. And I said, okay, so I just followed them willingly in that moment, and they opened up this, I call it a portal, like a round circular vacuum. And when I looked in, there was a galaxy, an entirely new galaxy, and we were like actually walking in existence. It was stars, planets. It was extraordinarily beautiful. And we were walking, and there was the city, but the city was made out of dark blue, purple and white crystals resonating. And the city was built, the city itself wasn't crystals, but it was like it was as crystals resonating. Then you had crystal pillars and formations, structures. It was breathtaking. I was blown away. It was amazing. And I asked them, why am I here? And they said to me, you've done what you have come here to do on earth, and your gift is now to place yourself here in the city, enjoy yourself and rest. Now, that sounds pretty inviting. That sounds pretty pleasing. Because in that moment when they said that to me, I kind of looked at my experience on earth. Although in that moment I can't actually remember every single thing that I'd done, but in terms of my experience on earth, what I experienced along with the rest of the people that surrounded me in my world, it's like an energetic signature, a feeling, an experience inside yourself when you think back at a memory. You know, when you look back at a memory, you can't exactly remember that memory, but you remember the experience you had within that. That's how it was, and that's what I experienced. And that moment when they said the word rest, I'm able to rest peacefully in the enjoyment within this crystalline city, I just went, yes please, let me do that. And I walked into the city, and there were these people, and they kind of opened their arms and they said welcome, and it's as though you've been in like this, how can I say, it's like you've been in this difficult, hard life. So you've been ill, sick, you've had infinite pain, and now you're in heaven. It was like that. Like I've just come out of a hospital or something, and I've been ill most of my life, living in a hospital with pains and discomfort, and now I've been cured, and this is where I am now. And it's when I walked into that city, and I had all these people welcome me, it was as though I was experiencing myself for the first time. And I remember that moment I stepped into that city, I asked myself, where have I been? Why hadn't I lived? And so, you know, you have that experience. This place will support me in having the ability to experience myself for the first time, to live for the first time. And I did. I even started a lovely family there. I had a wife and 2 beautiful children, lovely children, a girl and a boy, in this galaxy, in this city. And it was all just perfect, absolutely perfect. You're never tired of just expressing yourself. There were actually waters. The city was in a galaxy, on this like submerged platform, also crystal, made out of a crystalline structure, and around it was like water flowing, and from the top of the city it was like this waterfall of water flowing down on either side, and at the bottom there was like these big ponds, but you could see the bottom. It's fascinating, but you don't fall through it into the universe or into the galaxy. It's fascinating. It was like a floating waterfall and a floating pond in the galaxy surrounding this city, and it was just perfect. We didn't eat really. We just expressed ourselves, communicated, had fun, laughed, played, communicated with other galaxies, with other planets, travelled on spaceships, things like that. So I had quite an enjoyable experience there. Though all that ended in one moment, 2 years ago, when this interdimensional portal opened. And that was the moment when I had to face myself and the regret and the sorrow of my allowance of coming from an earth life as the one that I had, and allowing myself to enjoy the pleasures of self-expression instead of realizing that there are still many more on earth suffering. This is George Orwell. I'll continue in my second interview. Thank you.